What's going on, guys? Aero here, and guys, with E3 just a few weeks away, many people in the Pokemon community are still speculating on whether we could still get a main series Pokemon game this year, or if we're not going to be getting a Pokemon game this year at all. Now, I know I made a video a few weeks ago talking about how the month of May is like a really important month for Pokemon, and we always get a lot of big announcements about Pokemon games in May, but this year we didn't get any type of Pokemon announcement for any type of Pokemon game this year. Now, I know how a lot of people are still going off with the Pokemon Stars rumor, and I know I've talked about this rumor. You guys have probably heard about it from other people as well. The Pokemon Stars rumor was basically this rumor that, we still don't have any proof right away if this rumor is fake or not, or if this rumor is completely valid. There's a couple of, points on each side, so you can't really say for sure if it's real or not, but a lot of people were talking about how Pokemon Stars could be like an actual new Pokemon game, which is going to be a third version of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it's going to be exclusive to the Nintendo Switch, which is what the original rumor from Eurogamer said. But now I don't know if many people are still believing that. I know one thing that led a lot of people to believe this rumor was if you went onto your search bar and if you just typed in pokemon.com/Hoshi. Now, Hoshi meant star in Japanese, so a lot of people were trying to do this, and when they clicked on it, it would redirect you to the official Pokemon US page. And now this is interesting because it takes you to the US page of Pokemon, which you can actually click on stuff and go from there, and not an actual error page. Because if you guys ever click on something, or if you ever type in something on the Pokemon website and it's not like an actual page, or if it's not like a redirect, then it will just take you to a page with a side duck confused, saying oops, maybe you typed the wrong thing. But the fact that this actually took you to an actual Pokemon website where you can interact with the website from there is what led a lot of people to think that maybe this could actually be a real game, because that's what happened with Pokemon Rainbow. If you guys remember Pokemon Rainbow, that was the code name for Pokemon Sun and Moon, and when people were typing pokemon.com/ I forget what the name for Rainbow was in Japanese, it would redirect you to the Pokemon website, and that's what a lot of people used to say that Pokemon could be coming onto the Nintendo Switch, because the fact that, the word Hoshi, which means star in Japanese, is actually taking you to the Pokemon website. But guys, after doing some further research by some other people, it actually looks like you could type in anything that ends with an I, and it would take you to the official Pokemon website. So that's kind of weird. I don't know how that works. Maybe they just did that because I guess a lot of Japanese words end in I. For example, I could just go right here into my search bar and type in pokemon.com/Aero is the best YouTuber, and then put an I at the end, and it's going to take me to the Pokemon website, and I can go to anything else I want from there. So that's pretty interesting. I guess that's sort of just a thing that they put in the website to redirect you, but that's what led a lot of people to think that this rumor might not be as true as a lot of people thought. But I was looking for some interesting things, and I gotta say though, guys, since E3 is just around the corner, E3 is our last hope for an actual Pokemon game announcement. I think if we're getting any type of Pokemon announcement this year for a main series Pokemon game, E3 is absolutely the last or the latest time that they can give us the announcement. I think after E3 there is no way that we can get any type of Pokemon game this year. So guys, we have to hope and cross our fingers and hope that we can get a Pokemon game announcement at E3. And the thing is though, the thing that's confusing about this is that I don't think there's ever been a Pokemon announcement at E3. You guys can correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong. I know we've seen a lot of stuff about Pokemon at E3. Pokemon's always had big presence at E3. I think in the X and Y days we got a big trailer for Pokemon X and Y during E3. That was when they revealed all of the big information, the brand new fairy type and all of that stuff. And then last year for Pokemon Sun and Moon, they had a live stream with Pokemon Sun and Moon, and they were doing a live demo, and they were doing some gameplay. They had Junichi Masuda and some of the other developers on there, and they were talking about Pokemon Sun and Moon and just the development process and stuff like that. So E3 definitely has Pokemon content in it. It's just we've never gotten a brand new Pokemon game or something something along those lines at E3. We've never gotten a Pokemon announcement. So that's sort of the thing that is a little bit confusing. I don't know if we could actually get a brand new Pokemon announcement, but there's a first time for everything, so it could happen. I definitely do want a Pokemon game to come this year. I mean, at this point, I don't even care if it's coming to the 3DS or the Switch. I just want a new Pokemon game to play this year. I really don't think that they might give us a Pokemon game though, even though I really want one. I don't know, it's just weird though, because Game Freak just took a break recently in 2015 when they didn't give us a Pokemon game. Then they gave us Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it would just be really weird to take another break all of a sudden again and then not give us anything until next year. Because if they don't give us anything this year, we're definitely going to be getting something next year. But even the years that Pokemon takes breaks from their main series Pokemon games, we still do get other types of Pokemon games. Like I think in 2015 we got like a Mystery Dungeon game, so maybe this year we'll sort of get like another Pokemon game. It just won't be a main series Pokemon game. So that's still up there. Maybe someone else could just release some other type of Pokemon game and not like a main series Pokemon game. But anyway, I was looking for through some just news and articles online, and I did manage to find something interesting. Now, this doesn't give us any clues if a Pokemon game is going to be coming out this year, or if it's like going to be coming, sometime in the future. But something that I found that was interesting is something that just gives me a lot of reasons and faith as to why I think a Pokemon game needs to come on the Nintendo Switch. And this has to do with Monster Hunter. Now, I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan. I don't even know that much about Monster Hunter, but I know it's definitely a big title in Japan. I know a lot of people play Monster Hunter in Japan, and what's interesting is that the new game this year, Monster Hunter Double Cross, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, the new game that this year for Monster Hunter that's coming out is going to be coming out on the Nintendo Switch, and it's going to be coming out on the 3DS at the same time. Now, what's interesting is that when I was looking for some information, I read this article about Monster Hunter Double Cross on the 3DS and the Switch, and they were talking about how the Monster Hunter from the 3DS and the Monster Hunter on the Nintendo Switch are going to be able to communicate with each other, meaning that you can actually connect to your 3DS and your Monster Hunter on the Switch together, and they're going to be able to interact somehow. Now, I'm pretty sure it said it involved like internet or something, but the big thing here, the golden thing that you can get out of this, is that it is possible to get some type of communication between the Switch and the 3DS. Now, this is what I think is big, and this is definitely what's huge. This means that it is possible for the 3DS to connect with the Nintendo Switch, and by doing that, I think that it opens up a lot of potential for Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I know how a lot of people were saying, like, okay, well, if they make a Pokemon game on the Switch, then there's not going to be a lot of stuff for people on the 3DSs, but that's the thing here. Now, if it is possible, which it definitely looks like it is, that you can connect your 3DS and you can connect your Nintendo Switch, then it would definitely make sense to have like a simultaneous release with a new Pokemon game if it's coming out on the Switch and if it's going to come out on the 3DS at the same time. Like, you should definitely release Pokemon on the 3DS and on the Switch at the same time, and I think that will open up a lot of possibilities, because now you'll be able to connect with people on the Switch and you'll be able to connect with people on the 3DS as well. And I think that that's going to be really cool if they can actually make it work like that. I think it said like here for Monster Hunter, basically you're going to be able to transfer save files, so that makes sense. Like, if you have Monster Hunter on your 3DS and you played a good amount of that game, and then if you get like a Switch for your birthday or something and you get Monster Hunter for it, you don't have to go through like the whole process of playing through the game again and like restarting. But it looks like from what it says here, you're just going to be able to put your save file and start playing, from your 3DS save file onto the Switch. So that looks really interesting, and I think that if they can do something like that with Pokemon, it would be really good as well. Like, if you could, transfer your Pokemon save files from a 3DS onto the Switch, or if you could battle someone on the Switch and on the 3DS at the same time, that would be really cool. Like, if someone has a Switch and you have a 3DS and you guys can battle each other, that would be really good. I think that, it's going to be a lot of fun if they can actually get the Pokemon games on the 3DS and on the Switch to communicate with each other. And the fact that it is possible, that now we know that it is possible to have 3DS and Switch communications, is what's going to open up a lot of possibilities, and I think that that's going to be really good. I think now we know that they have some type of communication to happen, and because of that, I think that there's a lot of potential to have a Pokemon game, and this is why we need to have a new Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I understand what a lot of people are saying, like some of the big reasons are, okay, the Switch is expensive. Obviously, not many people can afford a $300 system. Also, the Switch is pretty much sold out everywhere right now. If you try to go and buy a Switch, they're going to be overpriced, and like, it's really hard to find a Switch. But I think that, even though they do all of that, they can still work around it. Maybe if they release a Pokemon game once a lot of Switches are sold, I think that there's going to be great potential to have a big Pokemon game on the Switch and on the 3DS at the same time. That way both people are happy. Even if you don't have a Switch, you can get it for your 3DS, and even if you don't have a 3DS, or if you have a Switch and just want to play it like like in HD and this full HD experience, you can buy it on the Switch. And there's been many cases in the past where we've had the home console version of a Pokemon game actually have communication with the handheld version. Now, I'm not talking about like a home console Pokemon game. I'm just talking about how like Pokemon games on home consoles have had communications with other stuff in the past with like handhelds. And I think a good example of this is Pokemon Battle Revolution. Now, if you guys remember Pokemon Battle Revolution, that was a game that was on the Wii, and it was actually one of my favorite games. Basically, this game was just all about battling, but it was really cool because you could actually see like the animations of Pokemon battles and stuff like that on your TV, and it looked a lot of fun. It was kind of like you were actually like in Pokemon in real life, and like, you know, you could see your trainer like, you know, commanding the other Pokemon to do attacks and stuff, and it was really cool. But the thing that you could do in Pokemon Battle Revolution was you could actually connect your Pokemon Diamond and Pearl to it on your DS's, and your battle on your DS, like you could tap like what attacks you want to do and stuff like that, and the attacks and all of that would execute out on your Wii instead, and you could see all of that happen on like your Wii graphics instead of like the bad graphics that were on your DS. So it's definitely stuff like that that have happened in the past where you can have DS's and Wii's communicate with each other. So I can't see why you can't have 3DS's and Switches communicated with each other. And now that we have proof that something like that is possible, I think that we definitely need to have a Pokemon game at least sometime in the future to come out on the Nintendo Switch. I think that there's a lot of potential now, and it definitely needs to happen. So yeah, there you guys go. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to click that like button. It really does help me out. Comment what you guys think about this down below. Do you guys think that now that we know that 3DS and Nintendo Switch have some type of communications possible, do you think that this opens up the door for Pokemon to come out on the Nintendo Switch, and the fact that they should release Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch because it is possible to have communications with the 3DS and the Switch at the same time? Definitely let me know down below. And if you guys are new to this channel, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of cool content about Nintendo on this channel and a lot more coming, so definitely be sure to subscribe if you're new here. Go follow me on Twitter at Actual Aero if you ever want to tweet me something or ask me something. I'm always there, and I'll be sure to reply to all of you guys who tweet me something. And yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.